So, now that we've met all the major players in this story, what exactly happened? Well, on November 9th, 2019, AEW put on a pay-per-view event called Full Gear. The main event featured AEW champion Chris Jericho versus Cody Rhodes. If Cody lost, he would never be able to challenge for the world title again. Now, at the end of the match, MJF, Cody's cornerman and friend, threw in the towel, signifying the end of the match. Afterwards, MJF turned heel on Cody. For those of you who might not be familiar with wrestler speak, let me break it down for you. A heel turn is when a wrestler suddenly and often shockingly goes from good to evil. The term came from professional wrestling to refer to when a babyface, or good guy, turned his back on the fans or fellow babyfaces and became the bad guy, aka a heel. Now, AEW has some passionate fans, and when Bubba posted some tweets criticizing the match, a familiar face reappeared in her DMs. This is what Bubba had to say when I asked her what started everything. I tweeted something that gained quite a lot of traction about not liking the whole MJF-Cody towel finish. It just felt like an anticlimax of an otherwise good rivalry. Chris entered my DMs to berate me very, very harshly. Now, side note here, I don't have any screenshots of this interaction, but I think the video clip I played in part 1 can lead to an educated guess that Bubba is being truthful here. She continues. I mean, I laughed and posted them all, but I still reported it because it was very harsh over a wrestling opinion. He got suspended for a week, and the DJ Storm's posse group chat exploded with hatred for me. One of the guys in that group chat DM'd me screenshots of it. I posted them and Storms unblocked me to ask who it was. I didn't tell him, so he reblocked me. Then a month passes, and someone posted saying Kenny Omega would easily be the face of WWE if he went there. I replied, he isn't even the face in the company he is in. And Storms unblocked me, and that's how it started. So to recap, the Full Gear main event happened and Bubba was critical of it. Chris has a meltdown on YouTube and in Twitter DMs, and Bubba gets his Twitter account suspended. This sets the DJ Storm's posse group chat on fire. An entire month passes! Bubba then expresses another opinion on the AEW product, this time about Kenny Omega. Storms unblocks her and launches a campaign to get rid of her. Here are some screenshots from that time period to give you guys a better idea of what Bubba was dealing with. Only the dumb people of the community call me dumb. I'm one of the most intelligent people in the community. I see the truth for what it is and I speak the facts, and that's reality. I called you out for saying something stupid. That's what I do. Do us all a favor and deactivate your account again. That way, it'll be a lot less toxic on this app without you on it. We don't need mindless sheep for fans who play victim and don't assess the fact that they are the problem. You're the perfect definition of that. You haven't seen what happens when someone strikes my nerves. Trust me, you haven't done anything but embarrass yourself throughout this entire conversation. You're delusional. Quite sad because you're older than me and yet I have more maturity and decency than you. We get more attention than you do just by breathing. You're depressed for attention, so you try and get it from the two easiest people that you can get a response out of because we call out stupidity. Makes perfect sense. For an engineer, you're not very good at Twitter. Now, Storms keeps using we in that last one, but who could he be referring to? Well, here's a screenshot of the DJ Storms posse group chat, and if you look at the top, you might recognize a familiar face from part 1. A
certain individual,
if you will.
This certain individual
who totally doesn't care about Bubba and never wants to talk about her again, still followed her Twitter account closely, it seems. Here we have a screenshot of this
certain individual
posting a random tweet from Bubba. We can see a few reactions from the other members of the chat, but I want to call your attention to that last message at the bottom. It reads, "She loves my dick." Aside from the fact that it seems to be this certain individual who is in love with Bubba, there's one more aspect about this comment that I find to be especially entertaining. Bubba is a lesbian! You absolute moron! I apologize. And just in case you might be thinking it wasn't obvious that Bubba was into girls, I asked her, and it is. Especially for someone who seems to follow her as much as Chris does. To give you an idea of how much Chris actually cared about this entire thing, he went and created a burner account for the sole purpose of talking shit to Bubba, and when she noticed the account, she called Chris out on it. Hey, at Man of Charisma, you might want to tell Chris if he's going to use a burner, not to misspell the same words as his middle school friend Freddie. Literally use the same misspelled word today. Just to add a little additional context here, since I don't have a screenshot, both Storms and Chris were claiming that the burner belonged to his friend from middle school, Freddie, so that's where he comes into play. Freddie more than likely doesn't exist. As you can see, Bubba added 2 screenshots to that tweet. Let's take a closer look, shall we? The first one is Chris being Chris. It's nothing, dude. Homie is just thirsty for clout. All I can do is laugh. Some people in this wrestling community are nothing but parasites. Notice the spelling. They will do anything for clout. Unlike some people I know, I can take an L and move on. The second one is from his burner account, AEW is better than WWE. The content of it isn't very important, but one word is, the word parasite. Chris uses this word in both screenshots and spells it wrong, both times. Now, I know that this isn't concrete proof that it's him, but consider this screenshot as well. Just leave her alone. She clearly doesn't understand that this is not a burner account. Maybe by the looks of her, thinking about it, maybe she likes him. If she can't take his name out of her mouth, maybe she likes Chris. Starting to sound a little familiar, isn't it? Bubba apparently can't stop talking about Chris, so she obviously likes him. Or wants his dick, cause that makes sense. Look, I know none of this is concrete, but with everything I've seen, I'm about 98% sure that AEW is better than WWE is in fact Chris's burner account. Unfortunately, there isn't much more from AEW is better than WWE because not too long after Bubba called out the account, Chris deactivated it. I'm deactivating this. Not gonna deal with little girls when I can do better things. All I'm trying to do is enjoy Twitter, and these parasites want to be little ass kids and act tough. Nice meeting you, name redacted. Sure enough, in no time at all, Storms was in Bubba's DMs making a pretty sad attempt at manipulating her into feeling guilty. Storms begins. I hope you're happy with yourself. I was having a decent conversation with a decent guy and you had to make him deactivate because of your toxicity. Don't even try to claim it's my fault. Bubba responds. It was Chris's burner, quite clearly. It was made today by Chris because I have him blocked. You're both the most obvious, pathetic losers. Get out of my DMs now. Storms, proving that he never learns his lesson, responds. I know Chris personally. He tells me everything about what goes on Twitter. Everything. Apparently they're a married couple. But I digress. He has no burners. But of course, you refuse to believe the truth I'm telling you. He does this low-tier manipulation thing a lot. He tries to twist things around and make it out so you're the bad guy. He even tried it with me. But we'll get to that. Needless to say, things were picking up and people were getting angrier and angrier. Bubba's flagging of Chris's Twitter account, though maybe justified, certainly didn't help calm things down at all. It was all kind of reaching a boiling point, and on December 24th, 2019, DJ Storms and his posse unleashed their plan of attack on Bubba CW. Ah, Christmas Eve. A wonderful time of year that brings people together to enjoy the holiday season. Unless you're DJ Storms. You see, instead of spending time doing literally anything else on Christmas Eve, DJ Storm and his group chat posse went on a flagging campaign to get Bubba permanently suspended. How do I know he did it? He spent the better part of the day, Christmas Eve, bragging about it on Twitter. She's gone now forever. Merry Christmas, Will. I suspended her. You're fine in my book, Tom, so don't worry about a thing. Tom responds, Why? Storms replies, Because she was a stupid and toxic wrestling fan who bashed me for no reason and didn't deserve to be on social media. She had it coming. One less stupid person to worry about. She's a beautiful person on the outside, I won't lie, but she's a terrible human being on the inside, especially in her brain. She's delusional. Ugh, this one's just really creepy to me. This is my platform, my community, my world. It was, is, and always will be. Thanks. Not only that, but in a DM conversation on Instagram with a friend of Bubba's who was trying to smooth things over, our little Storms had some big boy rules for Bubba. Now, there are only 2 rules, so I guess Storms was feeling generous that day, since it was Christmas Eve. Rule number 1, give me my rightful apology and smarten up. Or 2, stay off Twitter. Those are the only 2 ways that it will be enough. At the same time, another friend of Bubba's also reached out to Storms, but this time in Twitter DMs, and I think you'll find it interesting how Storms treats people when he thinks he's in a position of power. Now, his internet tough guy persona is about to go into overdrive here, so strap yourselves in. Bubba's friend begins. Leave her alone this time, dude. Come on. Storms responds. Who? Gotta be specific, bro. I'm not a mind reader. Friend. Bubba. Let her be this time. Storms. She already blocked me, so I blocked her back. If she talks about me or my friends, I will find out. Justice will be served again if she decides to piss me off. Bubba's friend. She blocked y'all to avoid any more controversy. Just leave her be. Everything's good now. Storms. She blocked us because she knows we are right and she's a fucking idiot. She's a toxic cunt. Wish she would have stayed off this app. Fact that she's back sucks. Either way, she got what was coming to her the first time around. If she has shit to say, then I have no problem putting old Yeller out of her misery again. I'm a stupidity eradicator. When I say I own the community and everyone answers to me, I mean it. I've gotten person after person suspended. Bubba's friend responds. No, she blocked you so she can get on with her life to avoid anything else bad. Later on in the conversation, Bubba's friend asks DJ Storms why he's doing what he's doing. He asks, why? Is there really a point in doing that? You're going to get a rise out of her and then she'll say something on it. It's best to put everything in the past and to go your separate ways. Storms replies, the point is justice and stupidity eradication. That's what I do. That's my job. Also, one thing you should know about me, if you haven't figured it out now, I don't give a single fuck. I really don't. Once she apologizes to me and Chris, then and only then can the next chapter be written. She started this, and if shit arises again, I'm going to finish it. His explanation continues. She trashed me and Chris for speaking the truth and doing our job as wrestling fans. She doesn't understand the difference between an opinion and stupidity. I never said I personally hate her. We don't personally hate her. For all we know, she's a great person, and I respect that. As a matter of fact, I admire that. But she's a dumb fucking wrestling fan, and as a wrestling fan, I don't respect that. She's a hypersensitive SJW who thinks that her opinions actually matter when in reality, they aren't even opinions at all. Nice person, but a dumb cunt as far as wrestling fans go. Nothing is personal here. This is all about pro wrestling. Now, Bubba's friend, realizing he's talking to a crazy person, responds. So all this is because she has different views than you on wrestling, essentially. Storms was riding high. Bubba was gone, he was the self-proclaimed king of Twitter, and he had all kinds of momentum going into the new year. He shared his excitement with his followers on Twitter. We are 2 weeks into 2020, and I have put to rest 3 of the biggest beefs I have had with 3 of my biggest rivals in the history of my brand. I would say it's a damn good year thus far. Hashtag DJ Storms. Now, between December 24th, 2019 and the first week of January 2020, Storms got 3 of Bubba's accounts suspended. Now, this screenshot is the 3rd account, so those 3 people that he defeated, I'm pretty sure all 3 of them were Bubba. His tweet reads, 3 times stepped up, 3 times shut down. Hashtag I win. Hashtag Storms always wins. Hashtag stay gone. Hashtag Storms owns Bubba. Hashtag DJ Storms. Hashtag the king. But unfortunately for Storms, all good things must come to an end, and that would be especially true for our hero. He was about to put an opinion out there so incomprehensible that the mob mentality he wants to use to get rid of Bubba would ironically be turned on him. Thank you guys for watching part 2 of episode 1. I'm really happy with how the series has been received so far, and I hope you guys continue to enjoy my content. I've got a lot of ideas for future videos, and I look forward to sharing those with all of you. And I know I promised a big shocking moment in this video, but I wanted to keep it under 30 minutes, so I decided to push that part back, but I promise we'll get to it next time. Also, how annoying do you have to be to get a wrestling journalist to embarrass you publicly on Twitter? Find out in part 3. Thank you again to Jada and Optic for the art. I appreciate all the support, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.